Yeah, as an evangelist at Epic, I'm supporting the region. My region is Eastern Europe and Israel, and my role is to bring any kind of support the developers in the region may need. So it could be anything from just some questions that they have for Epic games in general, or maybe some technical stuff. I'm also technical, as my background was programming. So I'm able to help with different issues, different problems, or maybe different questions. I think that the mission, the wider mission of Epic Games is to bring cooler things to the world using delivering the best tools for the creative people that we can. And we would like to really support the growth of the community that is using Unreal Engine and both and all of our tools that we deliver, because it has grown a lot during the recent years. Back a few years ago, 8 years ago or something, I was always set on building my own engine. So I've been building a lot of tiny little game engines, and I noticed that I'm focusing only on building those tools, and I've never created any games with them. So I figured out that maybe this is not the right way to go. So I started using different engines and trying them out. So Unreal was the closest to my heart, I think, mostly because how it's structured, how accessible all the parts of the engine are to the programmer, for example, was a great selling point to me, and it gave me a great control over what I wanted to create and how I wanted to do that using the tools that we have in Unreal. There are two things to talk about, I think, and one is the competition in the general game development industry. There definitely is one, and we are competing in a way, but it's never being personal. So no one ever came to another studio and didn't talk to them because they released a better product. No, we are looking up to those people, and we want to develop our skills to be better. And the other thing is, the engines give a great way for all the people who they have the creative skills, but they don't necessarily need to. Nowadays, they don't necessarily need to jump between different softwares and access those tools for them. They can just get into the game engine and not connect million of different tools in their arsenal. They can just focus on developing their skills in one direction, which is also great. And yeah, the talent is always needed. So I hope we are in tower. I mean, because we already can see great things that could be done or has been done with Unreal, but I think the community will also surprise us with what they can create, because if you get the tools we create for a purpose, but then they're not limited to this purpose, and people know it very well, so they try to really abuse the tools to do what they wanted to achieve. And I think the mission in general and the vision, my vision, is that again we would like to bring the tools, all the tools in one place, and even if it's not the complete tools, you will of course need to use specialized software to do a lot of different things, but we already bring more and more different tiny little improvements to the workflow. Like, for example, you can block out the level very easily with the new geometry tools, or you could, for example, create believable characters with metahumans, right? You don't have to even know how to model. I think my vision for the future would be that we will be able to give more and more tools to the developers directly from the engine, accessible from the engine. You can see that with the new geometry tools that can help you model or block out the level, or even model different things and do very complex operations, like some UV mapping and stuff that were never yet accessible in the engine before, or bring the whole Quickset library to your project directly inside of the editor, right? And you can use metahumans as well to create believable characters. Even if you don't know how to model, you just use the tiny sliders and you achieve the goals. So I would like for people to be able to actually access all the tools very easily, so they have as the least blocks on the road as possible. There is a strong push towards realism because this is how games were always like progressing towards that. But of course, you can always, for example, write your own shading model if you want, or you can use the current available shading models and change the parameters so you can achieve the art style that you desire, right? So all the tools that we deliver are meant for the highest quality, but okay, maybe the highest fidelity, let's call it, because quality is very abstract thing in this case, but the highest fidelity, and yet you can still get, for example, very stylized environments, as you can probably see in all our show reels or everything that you can see in the community, that the community does in Unreal. You can see some crazy stuff being created